Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. KG is back and it's time for a little transfer video. I was going to be here to talk about the number 10 position exclusively, but a little bit of news has come up in our centre back area and it's a little bit interesting. Some of you will be happy about it, I'm very sure, but it then also throws up with more questions of what do Leeds United do in the January transfer window if this transfer was to happen. Before I get into it, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, of course, drop your thoughts and comments below. Thank you to Godfrey Brown, who's become a member of the channel. Big up to you, Godfrey. Thank you for that support, and big up to all my members. Salute to you all. If you want to become a member, the link is in the description. So, getting straight into this, people. Danny Farker, I mean, look, first of all, Danny Farker has said that he wants a quiet window for Leeds. I mean, stating the obvious here, I think it's pretty obvious to everyone, but he's not going to come out and say, yeah, we need this, and this. That's just bad business, isn't it? To let everyone know what you're looking for. But of course, you want as much settledness in the transfer window, in the January window, as much as possible. But it's quite clear we do need some additions and we will have some subtractions as well. I think that's pretty clear, and I'll get into that when we talk about the number 10 talk. But this news came up just very recently as I was setting the video up to talk about a 10. But Salzburg new manager and director, and I believe his name is Rovan Schroeder, has said that Max Wöber return in January would be an exciting proposition. He told the Austrian, let me just see, Austrian newspaper Courier. Okay, so he's spoken to them about Max Wöber return. Danny Farker, according to Joe Donahue, likely to veto any exit, though even if the 26-year-old has only made 3 appearances so far. They're also looking at Gernot Trauner as well, who's also an Austrian centre-back. So Salzburg do have a few options. But there's a few things that come up with this, as I always say. First of all, the second bit, Danny Farker likely to veto any exit. It's not that easy, especially when the player isn't playing. Is not first choice. It's quite clear Strauch and Roden are our first choice centre backs. So you don't get that full power. Look, we saw it with Charlie Creswell last season, and we saw how that ended up in January, didn't we? It seemed like they made amends. It seemed like they built bridges after a public fallout between, his dad and then Danny Farker biting back himself. But then we saw he didn't get used. And we've already seen with Max Wöber as well before. He's left once before. And if he's got a chance to go back to Salzburg, I think he would probably take it. And if he's not playing football regularly, that kind of does take out your hands a little. It would be then on Leeds United to then get a replacement. And before people say, well, no, he's got a contract with Leeds, we can say no. I want you to then think of the knock-on effect for the rest of the season. If he's not playing, if he knew he could get back to Salzburg and he's denied that move, what's it doing for his morale? What's it doing for the locker room morale? You have to think of the knock-on effects to these kind of things. So it was one of these things now. If Leeds United could get a good fee for Max Wöber and send him back to Salzburg, then who are we getting to replace him? Because we already saw just recently in the game against Blackburn, Joe Roden had a back issue and he still persisted to play him. We are going to lose one of our centre-backs at some point, whether it be injury, whether it be suspension. You need somebody else there. James DeBio is the only one else that's in the tuck. I know he'd use Ethan Ampadu, but he's still recovering from his injury. So you will need to go out and get someone if Max Wöber is to leave. And it would be a shame for me, I speak for myself, in terms of losing a Max Wöber, because I just find that transition from a Strauch or Roden to a Max Wöber seamless in the Championship. I think it's a real good backup to have. But if there is rumblings that Wöber does want to go in January, and I did say if he's not playing too much, I can see him wanting to leave, and he will have his suitors out there, whether it be in Germany or, as we see now, back in Austria with Salzburg. So it's going to be interesting to see how this goes. Well, I guess we'll get some more updates on this as we get closer to the window, which is less than a month away now, people. It is creeping up quick. As we know, time waits for nobody. But yeah, I know what your thoughts would be on Max Wöber's pending departure if he was to leave. But yeah, put them in the comments below and let me know what you think in regards to that. Because for me, we already need players in January. And the one I was going to bring up was the number 10. And again, this is nothing on Brendan Aronson in terms of his place in the team. I think he does have a spot in the team, but I think we need another 10 in there. And it goes back to the summer recruitment and what I said at the time when we broke down the window. It wasn't balanced enough for me. And you can have things that you want ideally and with the perfect scenarios, but we've seen through the 18 games, we haven't had it perfect. We've had Dan James out, we've had Solomon out. Nanto has been moved around from the preferred position that they wanted to play him in the 10 because people have been out. Ramazani's been out. He's just recently come back. So, you can have it as ideally as you want on paper. But I said in the summer after the window that it wasn't balanced enough for me. We had one out and out right winger in Dan James, and we left ourselves with Nanto and Aronson as our 10 options. But as we've seen, because of injuries, we've had to move everyone around basically. So for me, it is important that Leeds United go and get this 10. All the local journals are thinking that we're not going to do it, or it's unlikely to happen. But what I would say is if we were, let's just say that 13 million bid, which I think what's his name again? What's his name? Angus Kinnear. I forgot his name for a second. That basically said that, yeah, we did put in a bid in. Well, if we had put the bid in and Sheffield United said yes, we wouldn't have gone, oh no, we better withdraw this. No, we would have gone ahead and signed Gustavo Harmer. So there is money there to go and get a number 10. And I do think it's important we do that. Already seen with Brendan. And look, he started off really well in the season. As you can see on the screen now, after 18 matches, he's got 5 goal involvements, and it was a pretty good ratio near the start of the season, but it's starting to dwindle a bit. And for me, I know he's good at pressing. I know he's good at running around and all that. That's cool, but you need some product from your number 10. Your number 10, especially with the way that we play football, your number 10's got to feed the strikers, or he's got to score himself. It's that simple. And the numbers and the the quality has dried up a little bit with Brendan, and it could just be fatigue. The guy's been coming back; he plays every single game. He got subbed off in the 69th minute in the last game, but usually he lasts a little bit longer than that. When he comes back from the US duty, he plays the next game a couple days later. I just feel like he could do with some help, and it would be good for Leeds United to have another out and out number 10 option for me. I know people are going to speak about striker, but again, I repeat this again: we are not going to get another striker while Patrick Bamford's still here. And so unless they're moving on Bamford in January, then yes, I fully get on board with another forward coming in. Joe Gelhardt as well. Somebody in the comments said we've got Joe Gelhardt here, and unless he leaves, there's no point talking about Joe Gelhardt for me because he doesn't play anyway. I think he's out injured at this moment in time, but even when he's fit, he doesn't play. So it would be for all interest, best of all interest, if Joe Gelhardt finds himself a new home in January. I think it's going to be more likely to be a loan, although I would just love it to be a permanent, just for him as well, just to get a fresh start and have a new permanent home somewhere where you feel trusted and everything else like that. I think it would do him good. But yeah, we're going to lose Joe Gelhardt probably in January, but we do need somebody else in there. And if you're going to go and get Gus Harmer, you're probably not going to get him now. Sheffield United are not going to do that deal. But there are other 10s out there that you can get. And it doesn't have to be a permanent deal. It could be a loan with view to a permanent signing. It could be anything. But I think it's imperative we do that. Some people saying about move Tanaka up. I don't think we should do that. I think Tanaka performs very well in the central midfield. And I put it to you like this: I would much prefer to see Tanaka in front of Ampadu when he's fit, and then you have that out and out 10 there, whether it be Aronson for that game or the incoming one. I think that would be a much nicer balance. And I think Tanaka performs really well in that 6/8 spot rather than just trying to force him into the 10. I think we've got enough of that, because even on the right-hand side, I'm not even speaking about a right winger, but I think Aronson can play out on the right. We've seen him do it before for both Leeds and America. So that's not a problem. But I think the more pressing issue is the out and out 10. I think we do need that come January. And I hope Leeds United are doing the work now to get that done, by the time the January window opens. For me, that would be the perfect scenario. But let me know what you think. What is the most important thing, especially in light of the Max Wöber news? Do you think it's a centre back? Do you think it's a 10 right winger striker? Let me know in the comments. I would add that I think we do need to get a new goalkeeper, but I'm just trying to think of the more likely things. And I don't think it's like we're going to let go of Illan Meslier in January and get a new goalkeeper. So I'm not going to waste too much time on that. But I would absolutely 100% get a new goalkeeper and sell Illan Meslier, just to make my feelings clear on that. And just to end, we usually get an away tie in the FA Cup, but we've got a home one, people. And it's a nice one against Harrogate Town, very local. It should be pretty much an all Leeds crowd for this one, in terms of Harrogate Town and the fan base there. So yeah, we should have a nice sail through against Harrogate. Hopefully, some people can stat pad in this one, get the numbers up, and we sail through to the fourth round in the FA Cup. Said that now it's going to be Leeds 1-0, Harrogate Town 1. I know it, but I'm joking. We should beat Harrogate Town. Come on now, people. But that is it for the video, people. Just wanted to give you an update on Max Wöber, my thoughts as well on the 10. Like, drop your comments below, and I'll see you in the next one, people. Peace out.